Vignette number 52 from Zen is Right Here, Teaching Stories and Anecdotes of Shunryu Suzuki. A brief verse recited at the Zen Center goes like this. Great robe of liberation, field far beyond form and emptiness, wearing Buddha's teaching, saving all beings. In the early 60s, this was chanted only in Japanese. No one knew what it meant. One day a student went to Suzuki and asked, "What's the meaning of that chant we do right after Zazen?" Suzuki said, "I don't know." Kanagiri Sensei, his assistant teacher, started going through the drawers looking for a translation. Suzuki gestured for him to stop. Then he turned to the student, pointed to his heart, and said, "It's love." That was Mel Weitzman, Sokoji, 1964. Interesting, huh? Just wanted him to chant it. It's the robe chant. And we didn't have any robes. Only he had a robe, and Kanagiri wore a robe. But I don't think that they would go through the form that we used later. Once Tatsugami came to Tassajara, I don't think we did this until Tatsugami came, is we would not wear our rakusu, the sort of miniature bib-like robe, our symbol of the robe, worn around the neck, or when there were, before Tatsugami came, there were a few priests. I think they would just wear their robes to morning zazen, but once he came, he started the Eiheiji form, the monastery in Japan, Eiheiji, the oldest and largest training monastery for Soto Zen, of bringing that robe of ordination, the okesa, or for a layperson, the rakusu. Priests also have rakusus, but they would tend to wear the okesa, which is it's like a big rectangular robe, with a couple of cords on it that you tie, and it's the descendant of the original Buddhist robe. Anyway, so you put it at your side while you're sitting zazen, and then at the end of morning zazen, you start the robe chant and put it on your head. And at the end of that chant, you then don it, put it on. There weren't any robes there or anything. He was just used to chanting that for some reason, got people to chant it. And I always enjoyed chanting it. And I didn't know what it meant, because when I first came to Zen Center, 66, 2 years after Mel asked this question, the only chant I knew was the Heart Sutra, which is done in the Sino-Japanese, the Japanized Chinese. So it's real short syllables. Kanji Zaibo Satsugyo Jin Hanya Hara. The robe chant in Japanese goes, Daizai Ge Da Puku Muso Fuku Dene Ibu Nyorai Kyo Kodo Shoshujo. And I liked those two. I just liked the sound of them. I didn't care. I mean, I was just there to sit. And I liked sitting. and maybe I didn't have a lot of questions, you know. I sort of believed in the meditation. So eventually, I don't remember when, learned the meaning of it. Daizai Geida Buku, great robe of liberation. Muso Fukudene, field far beyond form and emptiness. It is actually a field, the robe, because the Ogesa and the Rakusu are made out of little squares and rectangles that are sewed together to represent the rice field. And that sewing is a whole special way of doing it and everything. And we started sewing our own robes there, which Suzuki's lineage hadn't done for forever, but Katagiri's had. And so through Katagiri, we brought some teachers to teach us how to sew those things. And so we started sewing. It takes a long time to sew an Ogesa. It takes a long time to sew a Rakusu. And I did my first Rakusu, but after that, I had women sewing them for me. One was a very close friend when I got ordained as a priest, and maybe I did my Rakusu and she did the Ogesa. And the other was by a nun who had come to teach us. When I was head monk, she sewed me one as a gift for my shuso, or head monk ceremony. Joshin-san. She was wonderful. I think I stopped with Feel Far Beyond Form and Emptiness. Wearing Buddha's teaching. So, you know, you're putting it on yourself then, and you're wearing Buddha's teaching. You know, you don't have to take that literally. It's an interesting, you know, Hibu Nyorai Kyo. Wearing Buddha's teaching, saving all beings. You know, I've got a study of that chant somewhere where I looked at each character, and this is Sino-Japanese. Again, it's old. It's actually easier than modern conversational Japanese. Saving all beings. Hibu Nyorai Kodo Shoshujo. Kodo Shoshujo. Daizai Geida Buku Muso Fuku Dene. Hibu Nyorai Kodo Shoshujo. Saving all beings. All right. Awakening all beings. Awakening with all beings. But Suzuki didn't want to get into it, so he just told Mel, an interesting choice, huh? It's love. You don't hear the word love a lot in Zen. So that was nice. This has been a Cuke Audio mini podcast. I'm DC Poobah of Cuke Audio and Cuke Archives, coming to you from Sleepy Sanur with Doggett Bandita, Feline Cuchita, and dear lovely Katrinka. And we're wishing you and yours and all of us a grand awakening.